Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Metallic Rouge, episode 8, in which Rouge will probably continue being on the run. Or maybe she will be found by whom? That's a great question, right? She can be found by Naomi, she can be found by the Puppet Master. Anybody's guess, really. Anybody's guess which direction it's going. Right, in a previous episode, what exactly happened? What exactly happened? Well, Naomi turns out to be some... I don't even know who. Some bigwig, essentially, whose role is as of yet uncertain. And she does work for Jean, whatever, Rouge's brother. And he's in deep shit because the truth about Rouge surfaced because of Naomi. So I'm not 100% sure what's exactly going on there. Rouge got imprisoned, kept in a tube, and then she was freed by the reporter lady, by Jill Sturgeon, who later turned out to be one of the Immortal Nine, and she helped Rouge escape. And she wanted to enlist Rouge to not just help the Neons, but also to destroy humanity. Something along those lines, right? To make humanity pay. And Rouge didn't agree to that, so Jill turned against her. And then Alice Macias appeared, who Alice and Ice turn out to be one of the same person, just different personalities. And they are also in Immortal 9. And they save Rouge from Jill. And I think someone else also appears of the Immortal 9 among this whole kerfuffle. I'm not 100% sure of that. The twins and Rouge are then found by the detective who takes them in. And they talk, like, the twins ask Rouge, is she a good guy or a bad guy? Because if you're a good guy and you wanted to kill us, then you're not a good guy. And if you're a bad guy, then why do you think you're a good guy? And essentially scrambled her brains with that. And we also learned that Rouge apparently has something core, like I can't remember the name. Some MacGuffin. I think it was like biblically named even. I'm not sure of that. And that apparently can remove the Asimov code from Neons. And we also hear from John and Naomi that she's special somehow. Then, yeah. And that's where we are. And also Naomi noticed that Rouge is escaping, and she and John were all like, oh, the gears are falling out of place, so we must bring the gears back into place. As opposed to... who was it? Jill, who was like, if the gears are falling out of place, then we must destroy the machine. Someone was like, things are breaking, so we must destroy the thing and rebuild it. And someone else was, things are failing, so we must fix them. And I think Naomi for sure subscribes to the second one. Jean, I think so as well. Again, it was confusing. It was confusing for sure. Perhaps today's episode will clear some things up. Maybe, hopefully. We will see about it, of course. And yeah, I guess we should just start watching this episode, right? And to do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what is going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 8 of Metallic Rouge in 3, 2, 1, go! Piano again. Oh, and the blue Rouge appeared somewhere as well. So many things have happened. Oh, and Joker guy, what's his face? Jaren. Jaren is alive and on some deserted island or something. Oh boy. A secret lair? How did you not notice them? And I get... Oh, right, the detective is helping because he's on the, like, Junghart assassination case, and Rouge told him what she need. Right. Oh, something left for you by your father? That's kinda random, not gonna lie. Metallic Rouge is a curious series, I noticed. It's like I'm still trying to figure out why exactly I have trouble keeping up with it. Like, I think episode 10 came out today, and I'm watching episode 8, and I don't have trouble keeping up with other shows. But every season or so, there is at least that one show or two shows that I have trouble keeping up with, and I'm trying to find something common between them. It can't be that they are bad shows, because pretty much all of them I enjoy thoroughly when I sit down to watch them, but the motivation to sit down and watch them is lacking. I don't know why, honestly. Yeah, I've no clue. Alright, what do we find in the basement? Yes, it's a fairly common trope. Or they find a god robe there. Could Rouge get a kamui? Senketsu or Junketsu? Let's be honest here, Senketsu. Computers? I thought those crystalline things were like data carriers. So it is a library. full of recordings. Memories. So he figured out a way to like store a person's brain. Okay, so at least we have a confirmation that Rouge like existed, because I was kind of doubting that those were like Rouge's memories, that she remembers Jean playing piano and whatnot, and it was just implanted in her, maybe by the puppet master, maybe by Roy Junghart, something fucky wacky going on there. But now we see that those are genuine memories of Roy Junghart. So unless his memories were also scrambled. Taking notes of Rouge. Okay, so a muscle head then. Oh, so do Neans not have a sense of taste normally? They just take the nectar and that's it? So could it be that she's like somewhere between a Nean and a human? Yeah, the memories would kind of suggest that, yeah, you were not much more than just a research subject. Okay, so not a biological son either? Adopted. I thought he's also a Nean, honestly. Mother dearest. Right, Code Eve, that's the thing that Rouge has that can, like, turn off the whatever code, Asimov code. Okay, so she created the Asimov code. Mm-hmm. So her intent was to free the Neans. What was Roy's intent then? Accident. Sure. I'm sure it was an accident. So you were adopted after she died, I presume? Mm-hmm. How do we distribute that code? And she was assassinated for that. Uh-huh. So, Zhang was hunting them down for the Eid, for the Code Eve, right? Makes perfect sense, actually. Yeah, things are falling into place. In what sense? She created Rouge, yes. Is this where my theory that Neans are formerly human comes in? Okay, creator, not a biomatter. I mean, depends. If a Neon like Jill gets Code Eve, she's just going to turn into the worst terrorist humanity has known. If the dude here, Noid, gets it, then nothing big happens, probably. So it's, a balance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I can absolutely see a civil war between humans and Neans, should the Neans get free will. Some, yes, but not all of them. Ideally, we should screen those Neans and give free will only to the ones who pose no danger. But how you detect such a thing? What do you desire? Right, Divine Facilitator, that's her title. Whomst? Oh, Blue Rouge? Blue Rouge! Just straight up henshin. No introduction, nothing. Nice music. I guess we're just completely skipping the pleasantries. Why? Why exactly would it be your goal? Sister? Sister. Yep, of course. Well, that was random. One of us will die. Ah, or that. I mean, that's debatable. Who will die, but safe to assume that one of them will. Probably someone who just bombarded your place. Who? Aren't you like a government bigwig who would be attacking you right now? Let alone with a strong force like that, right? Those are not, I know, random resistance droids. This is an organized... Yeah, there we go. Oh! That's a nice ability. Just crushing a bubble of space. Also amazing design. And gets squished. How can you be sure, though? I mean, she probably didn't, let's be honest here, but how can you be sure? You gonna insert their ids back? Or you gonna do something with their ids? Jill, maybe. Jill and Gryphon? I'm not betting on it. I mean, she's the protagonist, so she probably will. Right. By the virtue of being a protagonist. Oh, a staff. It's Rouge's Eid. Mm-hmm. So she's gonna have to, like, sacrifice herself if she wants to free the Nians, because all of the Eids are necessary. Mm-hmm. I mean, you needed her Eid anyway, so yes, you needed her Eid. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not an absolute that either Nians or humans get free will. Both can. And this battle theme comes in again. They meaning who? And are you sure? And headshot. No, chest shot. Close. Predictable. Honestly. Who were those people then? No, then we don't care, probably, yeah. You'd expect the Nians to be a little bit more resilient? You know, like resilient enough to survive a chest shot. Or a stomach shot, rather. Well, shit. Noid is dead. Kumst. Oh, this dude! Hello! We're making it a 2v2. I'm assuming Noir is strong, because otherwise Graufon would not be stopping her. Fight it is. Yep, we have an ally. Oh. Okay. Okay, so he has, like, additional arms. And who are you? Oh, yes, the twins. Are you with Rouge or against Rouge, though? Or are you forming a third party? I'm not much less confused than I was, I'm gonna be honest with you. That was a nice, engaging episode. I liked it. Okay, I'm just gonna preemptively pull out my notebook. Because there's gonna be quite a few things to note down. Oh, Metallic Rouge, where are you? Majo to Yajuu, Metallic Rouge. Yeah, we're gonna go through it as we go through this episode again. And we're gonna go through it again right now. Oh, there. We wouldn't want YouTube to strike this video. So, this is not a fake memory implanted somehow in Rouge, like I expected, like I suspected rather. It's an actual legit memory. What is this place? Is this John's mansion? Is this Roy's mansion? Maybe? I know. How did he figure out the notes to open the secret passage? How did he know there is a secret passage? How did Rouge make it here? It really feels like there is... I'm not gonna say an episode missing, absolutely not. But it kind of feels like there is those, like, 5 to 10 minutes missing to me. Like, we should have seen Jean make the plan of going to his father's mansion and finding the notes to open a secret laboratory or whatever. We should have seen how Rouge asks the detective, asks Ash to bring her to that same mansion for whatever reason, and he reluctantly agrees, right? I feel like we just skipped the transition to get to the meaty bits. That's the vibe I'm getting here. And I'd rather have seen this transition. I was attacked by part of the Immortal Nine. Yep. Ash Stahl, Noid 262 from Ochrona. Right, and apparently the library in the basement hides the truth. Whatever that truth might be. We don't really see much of the truth, honestly. I initially thought when they mentioned that it's a library that those are like crystalline data disks or whatever, but no, apparently books. but those books are carriers of like holographic data, which is just being a little bit extra, you know, making a hologram into a book just for the sake of it being a book. And yeah, we know that those are the real memories, although in Rouge's memories we see Cyan transform into Rouge. So I wonder if this could have been Cyan masquerading as Rouge. Right? Like, we don't really know who Cyan is. Rouge's sister, oh, sure. In what regard, in what sense has she been actually plausible? Cyan was created in secret by either Roy or Eva. Roy could have created Cyan, in order to like release her into the wild, and if she catches a whiff of someone trying to use Code Eve, her task is to track down that someone and destroy them. As a safeguard, because Roy didn't want Code Eve to be released. He was very much pro Asimov Code. Or it could have been Eva, who created Cyan as a copy of Rouge, more or less. Should Rouge be destroyed by Roy, because he knew about her and the code Eve inside of her, there would be a backup, Cyan, who has the same code. Which leads me to an interesting place, because we hear from Jill that all of the Eids, or at least Rouge's Eid, is necessary to recreate Code Eve and to take down the Asimov code. What if we could substitute Rouge's Eid for Cyan's Eid? That way Rouge doesn't need to sacrifice herself, because we can just kill Cyan and get her Eid. Right? Maybe. Could go either way, really. So, could go the way of Rouge sacrifices herself so her Eid can free Nians, or Cyan's Eid can be used for that instead. So we either get a good ending with Rouge surviving and Nians being freed, or we get a bittersweet ending with Rouge dying but freeing the Nians in the process. Memories of Roy Junghart. Memory library. And we are looking for a specific memory. I wonder which one. But compared to the Protonians I created in the past, the subject's physical strength far surpasses that of humans. Okay, so we at least know that Roy did create Protonians. So I wonder... I guess we don't really know how exactly. So they could have still been created out of usurpers or visitors or humans, right? It's still a possibility. So I wonder. Yeah, I wonder, where do usurpers and visitors come into play here? Right? It's very much a story of Nians and humans, and usurpers and visitors are just kind of, you know, in the past. They're not really necessary for the story so far, are they? You could just take away the war with the usurpers and have it be a independence war between Mars and Earth, and Earth people created the Nians to stifle the Martian rebellion. For example, it's also a good backstory for the creation of the Nians. And we suddenly no longer need visitors or usurpers in the picture. So what purpose do they serve, I wonder? Right? Not technology either. Like, sure, they probably brought in a lot of technology that humans used, among other things, to colonize the planets and to create neons, but you could just set the action like 500 years further into the future, and humanity just figured that technology on their own. And you don't have that discrepancy, you don't need aliens anymore. So I legit wonder what is the purpose of the aliens here. Because I really don't think that they would be added just for the sake of being here. The growth ratio of her emotional state and physical strength is reversed. Yeah, I wonder why. Could she have been created as the perfect combatant? Right? Like, stifle the emotions to not... stifle the emotions to not, you know, distract her in battle, and strong physical strength so that she can fight good? Maybe, although Eva doesn't really seem like the kind of a person who would create the ultimate warrior with stifled emotions, no less. She rather seems like someone who would create a neon with highly sophisticated emotions, perhaps at the cost of their strength. So I wonder. Taking unnecessary nutrition for the pleasure, yeah. She apparently has taste buds. That sense of taste that other neons don't. Taking unnecessary nutrition serves no purpose beyond pleasure. So her emotions must be developed perhaps even further than other neons if she can take pleasure. I've no clue. This is a gene, right. Adopted son, biological son of Eva Cristela. And she created Code Eve because she regretted the creation of the Asimov code. Right, I've turned the neons into beings with no freedom. Exactly. It's the one thing that can free the neons from the Asimov code, and that is Code Eve, embedded, among others, inside of Rouge. This is interesting, though. She's a genius. She was a genius biophysicist. That implies neons would be at least partially biological, perhaps proto-neons. I don't know. Made of human corpses? Again, that question arises. And one who created neons along with him. Right. Code Eve is a program that can nullify the Asimov code and free all neons. We know that. How do you even, like, transmit it to all neons? Do neons share some sort of a network? Do they connect to probably 7G by then? I don't know. Refused to give the data, right? And she probably was assassinated for that. Hidden within the eads of the Proto-Neons my father made, they are known as the Immortal Nine, right? And father wanted to hunt down the Immortal Nine to remove the Code Eve or capture the Code Eve, and the Immortal Nine got them first because they, of course, didn't want to be captured, they didn't want to be killed for the Code Eve, and some of them, like Jill, like Grafon, wanted Code Eve to free fellow Neons. Makes perfect sense. This one clears up perfectly. We got at least one straight answer, two straight answers if you count the fact that Rouge's memories weren't fake. Good, 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 good. How do I know what your mother looked like? Because it's also your mother, yeah, created you. Complicated person, if Code Eve, right. What do we do? That's actually a very good question. That's actually a very good question, because you could You could not free the Neans because of the few Neans who would just start riots and a civil war if given freedom. And then you are hurting the good ones because of the fear of the bad ones. And that's not a good solution. Or you could free all the Neans, free the good ones, but then you also give free will to the bad ones. And they will not stop at just killing humans. They will most probably also be killing fellow Neans, the good ones, for being traitors, right? I can absolutely see that happening. You don't really have a good way to solve it except extensive screening. Like extensive screening of the Neans. But how do you even screen them? And how do you prevent them from rebelling in the future? They might be screened as being safe, but then some evil Neon gets to them and convinces them to switch sides. How do you stop that? How do you prevent that? You can't. There's no way. I kind of see... Perhaps it's kind of far-reaching, but it's also an original show. An original contemporary show created in modern times. And I kind of sort of see it as an allegory for immigration. Might be a controversial opinion, right? We either let everybody in and we need medical Legos, or we let nobody in, even the people who need help. And then neither option is good. Same here, right? We either free all of the Neans, or we free none. And neither option is good. And we don't have good ways, good, safe, proper ways to screen which Nean is good and which isn't. And we have no ways of preventing the good ones from getting radicalized by the bad ones. I might be reaching too far here. I might be completely off base, but I kinda see the connection here. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Was the thing about avenging our father a lie? Yeah, probably. Probably. Isn't what I'm doing wrong? I don't understand. How is it not wrong? Yeah, again, that's the problem. Anything you would do right now would be wrong in one way or another. We need to stop the Immortal Nine, yeah, that's a given. Because they want to kill, they want to destroy. Humans and Neans alike. Sure. Any sudden changes brought about through violence, yeah. It would absolutely bring about a lot of violence. 100%. But yeah, she's also correct. Some Neans are just trying to live better lives. Like, there is no downside to giving Noid his freedom. There's no downside to, I don't know, giving random workers their freedom. The guys we've seen at the bar in the very first episodes, right? It wouldn't hurt to give them freedom. Giving freedom to Jill, though? Giving freedom to Jaren? Now that would be bad. So, yeah, which is why we can't allow such chaos to break out. And he's also correct, because if we give freedom to everybody, then chaos breaks out, and the innocent Neans get caught in it. And it doesn't serve them. It hurts them as well. Both of those points of view are right, neither is wrong. Both freedom and order are necessary, troublesome as it is. Exactly. It all comes down to which one you choose. I wonder what will be the moral here. Because it's absolutely going for a moral. Because we see two very obvious paths. Free all Neans and deal with the fallout. Or keep the Neans shackled and live with the fact that you just did that. But there's also a third route, and I wonder if they will go for it. The, like, you know, middle path. We free some Neans and we don't free some. We free Neans slowly, gradually, over the years. We create new Neans without Asimov code, but the ones who are already coded remain that way. Right? There are some compromises to be had here, and I wonder if we are heading towards one. It all comes down to which one you choose. It really sounds very binary, either all or none, and I don't think that's the best way. And yeah, also, it's all about what you want to do, but what do you want to do, Rouge? Do you have desires? Do you have wants? That's a good question, isn't it? And also, what's she doing here besides listening in? And why did she not decide to rush in? I wonder. No introduction, just a straight-up henshin. And she really seems like she just wants to fight a strong opponent. Which kinda rains on my parade with my theory that maybe she was created to destroy Code Eve or to safeguard Code Eve. None of that is her purpose. Her purpose is to strong Neon, me fight strong. And that's basically it. Unless she hides her true purpose, which is entirely plausible, I guess. But then if she actually had the goal of destroying everybody who has anything to do with Code Eve, she would not have just walked away right now. And if her task was to safeguard Code Eve, she would not be attacking Rouge. So, right? Cyan, little sister, implying she was created later, which lends credence to my theory that Cyan was created in secret after Rouge was. Yeah, no, the same type as Rouge, yeah. The only one who could have made one of those is Roy or Ava. Either of them staged their death. Either Roy or Ava, or neither of them, are actually dead. And they made Cyan recently. Either of them. I'm gonna say Roy / Eva is not dead and is working behind the scenes and created Cyan semi-recently. Semi-recently meaning not right after Rouge was created, but rather after some time, perhaps after the assassination attempt, or, you know, something along those lines. Could the puppet master be Roy? Sure. I'm just gonna say that the Carnival has a connection to Roy or Ava. And Naomi's place is also being attacked, so... and she's being attacked by Jill and Graufon and some random robots. Which means that Jill and Graufon have a little bit more power than I initially anticipated, right? They are not a slapdash resistance force that consists of them two and maybe Jaren. They need to have some ways to procure those droids, for example. Alethea is under attack, right? And we are going to save Naomi, question mark, probably. And here are the EIDs that contain bits and pieces of the code Eve, I would assume. I fully expected her to just revive all of those immortals, and I fully expected Rouge to have to face them again. I fully expected something like that to happen, right? Having to essentially fight the shadows of her past. But no. No, Jill just wants Code Eve. Code Eve will free all of us Neons from the constraints of Asimov Code, yes. But this is, not fun part. The alters hereby declare war on all of humanity. And the final key to the decoding of Code Eve is your id Rouge Rect Star. What you wanted wasn't me. I wanted to take a stand. I wanted you to take a stand of your own free will. Which is to say, she did want Rouge's id, but she wanted Rouge to give it up willingly. That's basically my reading on it, right? I wanted to convince you that your id is necessary, your sacrifice is necessary, and I wanted you to give it up. I felt lost for a while, but I realized it was true. I will protect order in this world of my own free will. Right, that's a good stance to take. I will protect the freedom of humans and Neans. This is the important bit. Both of them. She doesn't side with humans who want to oppress the Neans, and she doesn't side with the Neans who want to take revenge on the humans. She stands on the side of coexistence. And I think we have our answer as to where it's going, right? I think so. Or rather, which sort of an ending we're gonna get. They're friends. Yes, they are, but not yours, because you're a Neon. And when he turned around and he was the only person in the shot, it was entirely predictable that he's gonna get shot. Alas. Was it a human? No, a Neon. Then whatever, then we don't care if he was a Neon. Of course. He got hit in like the solar plexus. And sure, it's a tragic death, of course, because I really came to like Noid. We haven't spent that much time with him, so it's not like a super tragic death, but I liked him as a character, of course. But I also couldn't help but keep thinking about how non-resilient he is. He got shot in the stomach once and then died. Meanwhile, Neans have been selected to terraform Venus because they can withstand those crushing conditions. Does it depend on a Neon? Are there like Neons for civilian use who are maybe cheaper to make and they are fragile, and then industrial Neons who are very, resistant and maybe more expensive or something? That would be one explanation, because aside from that, I really can't see him dying from just a stomach wound. I really can't. Unless it's like, I know, his nectar spilled out and that killed him or something. I don't know. I just don't see this death as believable. Maybe. Kind of like in a game, you shoot the enemy opponent in their foot, and they lose their last HP and they just die from being shot in the foot. And it's like, cool, but not really realistic. I don't really feel like I've earned that kill, right? And here we have this. I don't know, maybe just me. Bow down to her. He has an amazing design. Probably my favorite Neon design so far would be Graufon, honestly. No, sorry. Eden. Eden's design is my favorite. The coat, especially the coat, cloak, whatever you want to call it. Face life and death in those ruins together. I'm glad we get another ally. Jet Black Noir. Graufon knows something that Sylvia doesn't. Or, well, Jill. It almost feels like he knows what to expect of Eden, and he wants no part of it. He doesn't want to fight Eden. He doesn't want to fight Jet Black, because he knows he's gonna lose. It really feels like that to me. Then the eats of all 9 of them will be mine. There's something I need to tell you. The answer to the question you asked. I wouldn't want to get your hopes up or anything. Yeah, I will stand opposed to you. Initially, when he henshined, and then we get him shooting to the sides, I really thought he's just being extra. I really thought we're just getting the, Power Rangers transformation sequence, and then they do a bunch of crazy moves just for the sake of it, and then explosion behind them, right? I really thought we were looking at something like that, but no, he's actually shooting at the enemy robots. I love his coat, I love his helmet. My favorite design, yeah, honestly. Tell me the words I want to hear. Too late for that, he already told you the words you didn't want to hear. And I guess Graufon has the power of liquid energy hands? Something like that. And Ice is here, coming straight between them, which is a nice, allegory to them, right? The twins are not on Jill's side, but they aren't on Rouge's side either. Not right now. Or maybe they came here to save Rouge, because Rouge became the good guy now? Maybe. Or maybe they turned to Jill's side and they're gonna have to fight Rouge. I don't know. And Cyan is here, of course. Probably waiting for the winner to fight them, because she likes fighting strong. This jingle is gonna stay with me, honestly. It might have been overused when this theme appeared early, but this time around it's gonna stick with me. It's fun. It's a fun jingle. Okay, there we go. That's the episode. That was the episode of Metallic Rouge indeed. An episode that answered a couple of questions, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad it answered some of the questions. I'm glad this show didn't keep its cards face down through the entirety of it, because I was kind of afraid of it. I was kind of afraid that they're gonna go for the thing where they keep asking and creating new questions without actually giving us any answers. I experienced that with Tact of Destiny, sorry, Symphony is the game. With Tact of Destiny, where they kept pelting us with questions, and we got a scant few answers all throughout the show, not even at the end of it. Frankly, the ending of the anime posed even more questions than we already had. And I haven't played enough of the game to judge how many answers I've gotten. And the game closes its servers on the 4th of April, something thereabouts. I guess we still have 2 weeks. Maybe I'm gonna stream it. We're gonna go through the main story as far as I can go, and I don't know, could be a nice idea. Regardless, Tact of Destiny went for the thing where they just kept piling on questions and not giving us answers, and I was afraid that Metallic Rouge is also going in that direction, because the previous few episodes in particular created a lot of questions, a lot of theories, but answers, we haven't really gotten any. Not really. Those are this episode gave us answers to 2 of very important questions. One question being whether the memories inside of Rouge's head are real, or placed there by the puppet master, as I suspected initially, but no, it seems that those are her real, actual memories. And the other question was about Roy Junghart's death, and we now know how and why and what did he do. We know that. We know also what the ids are, or what they hold, at least among the Protonians. We know what Code Eve is, we know what it can do, we know how to achieve it. We don't know how to distribute it, but I think it's just going to be an implementation detail. And should they get access to all of the ids, should they be able to reassemble Code Eve, we would just get a time skip and, oh, the Neons are free now, without actually showing us how it was distributed. Which is fine. Like, don't take it as a dig at the show, because it's just perfectly fine to skip that detail. This episode does raise questions about the Puppet Master, though, doesn't it? He seems to have known what Rouge's memories would be. I have a sneaking suspicion he might be Roy. I know, I'm not sure, though. I'm not entirely sure. And I guess the biggest question that this episode prompted, but not really created, it just prompted me to think about it, is the role of aliens here. Initially, I was under the impression that Jean collects the ids to perhaps resummon the visitors or the usurpers, or to get them out of stasis, or to create a passage to their world, or whatever, something like that. But no, doesn't seem to be the case. There was that big, like, floating ship-looking thing when he was looking at his collection of ids, though. So I wonder what that was. Yeah, I wonder what that was. And we still have no clue about Naomi's involvement, really. Like, we know that she's some sort of a bigwig at Aletheia, or at the government. But who is she exactly? We don't know. What are her goals? We don't know. Does she want to free the Neons, or does she want Neons to stay under control? Or is she somewhere in between? I don't know. Still, so many unknowns, huh? So many unknowns. But I like where it's going. It really seems like... It really kind of seems like we are past the prologue section, almost, right? Like the previous... Or, well, not the previous, but like the first 6-ish episodes were mostly just a prologue. Establishing the characters, establishing the relationships, establishing the world, right? Establishing all sort of things like that. And the actual plot, the actual story started only now. The world has been established, we know what's what, and now we get to the meat and potatoes of it. Yeah, kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that's gonna be it about this episode from me. I might watch episode 9 soon, because I'm honestly curious where it's gonna go, because it could really go any which way. We'll see. We'll see about that, of course. But yeah, right now that's gonna be it from me for today, but maybe you guys have something more to add, and if so, say so in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go here to my Discord, also in the description. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future releases, like of shows like Metallic Rouge, Majo to Yajuu, Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier, Yuuna is a hero, and others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified of when I go live, because I do stream sometimes, maybe even Tactop Symphony. We'll see about that. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon for $10 a month to get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuna. Episode 1 is on Patreon already. For $5 you can vote on those non-seasonal shows whenever there's a poll running, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube via membership, super thanks, super chats, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and it helps a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, the Survivor, Zayrainer, Michael, Spalding, Yuuki, Ally, Ishtamu, Marcos, and Dr. Watt, Akamaster Marsh, Fossil, Hans, Peter. And you can join them as well if you want without having to pick a side.